How is everyone doing? After such a long wait, the Demon Slayer movie is finally available online, and I'm sure from the title of the video you can already guess what we will be talking about today. I'll be giving kind of like my review or some of my thoughts on the movie overall. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because it would mean a lot to me. With that said, let's continue on with the review.
そして暖かい
In all honesty, I wasn't expecting much from the movie because I had already finished the manga and knew what would happen, but the movie still thoroughly surprised me at some of the scenes, simply because of how good the adaptation by UFOTABLE'S was. I mean, we all knew the animation would be god tier considering how amazing episode 19 was, and if you thought that was hype shit and UFOTABLE'S peak power level, oh boy, you are in for an eye-gasmic ride, because this movie showed me that episode 19 was just child's play compared to what we are given this time around. Of course, with a huge movie budget, it's to be expected that the animation would be upscaled a lot, but still the animation looks so smooth and breathtaking that it just draws you in like that, and it's really fucking satisfying to watch. Seriously, throughout the whole movie, I kept thinking to myself, okay, this scene is so good, how will they top that? But then the next scene, they just outdid themselves again, and oh, again in the next scene, and again in the next scene, and I'm just sitting here watching the movie like, what the fuck, UFOTABLE? How are you able to keep on flexing your animations and one-up yourself over and over again in a single movie? They are literally like that meme where the only person to defeat me is me. And it's definitely not just the animation itself, with the blood-pumping fight choreography, the bright flashy colors of the show, and the mixture of the amazing ultra-modern animation with the static drawings, and the CGI was top-notch. Even the story was done so well, and if you watched my previous Demon Slayer anime review, you would know that I didn't really like or hated the overall story. I always just felt like it's a pretty generic and predictable show with the typical cliche that we would see in most Shonen Jump titles. But it was still such a hype, fun and enjoyable experience. But I won't go into the overall story because the things I have said about it I already said in my review of the Demon Slayer anime. So if you're interested, I'll leave a link down in the description below so you can check it out. However, if we are talking about the movie just as a standalone piece, it was really good, and the people from UFOTABLE definitely did the manga justice and gave the audiences some high quality storytelling. Now, when I knew they were going to adapt the Mugen Train arc into a movie, I was definitely worried about the pacing issues and whether or not they would have to cut or stretch out certain elements from the manga to make it work. Because if we base the Mugen Train arc on the manga chapters, it's about the same length as the Natagumo Mountain arc, but even then some parts had to be cut out. So it's normal to be worried about the pacing and content issues like most anime to movie shonen series. I was actually really happy and appreciate that UFOTABLE threw us right into the movie without any of the so-called shonen recap syndrome that we'll see in most shonen shows like One Piece, where the first 5 to 10 minutes of the show is just a recap or flashback of what happened previously. But luckily, none of that happened, and the movie definitely didn't feel rushed or overloaded with useless information. Everything was easy to follow, the pacing was actually quite fast, and it was surprisingly close to the manga. The movie even included bonus complementary scenes or changes that were not seen in the manga, so even manga readers have something to look forward to from the movie. Especially in the last quarter or so of the movie was again probably the most powerful and hype fucking animations I've seen from not just UFOTABLE, but very likely from any other studios as well. It didn't feel forced, and it wasn't done for just the sake of hype or sadness. It was truly an epic yet sad and bitter ending filled with so much emotions from the characters that I was left utterly speechless. With that said, I do have some worries for the Demon Slayer series moving forward, because how the hell are they going to top this animation for season 2? I mean, I personally wouldn't be surprised if the animation quality dropped for season 2 or it isn't as hype as the movie, because again the animation for this movie is probably so amazing because it has a movie budget to play around with. But we all know how some anime fans can sometimes have way too high expectations for their favorite series without really understanding the current situation the studio is facing, and can get kind of crazy or toxic most of the time, like how the Twitter people were so mad about the Mappa Attack on Titan. Now, aside from this, I do just have one single problem. Well, not really a problem, more like a minor nitpick or criticism about the movie, and I think that it really didn't even have to be a movie and could have just been an add-on for the next season of Demon Slayer, and it would have easily still be a banger of an opening for season 2. But I do understand the need to generate hype within the fandom to maintain its relevance in the anime community and keep the series as popular as possible, as if it wasn't already popular enough, and earn some revenue from the ticket sales. I mean, it became Japan's highest grossing film of all time and broke the record with a box office revenue of 36 billion yen or $458 million. So I guess it definitely worked out for UFOTABLE'S. And don't get me wrong, as much as I felt hype around this movie and the excitement of the hot-blooded action, it just didn't have the same cinematic feel you would get when watching like, say, Your Name or even Digimon Last Evolution Kizuna, where the experience hits different when you're watching it in a cinema. The Demon Slayer movie, for me at least, just didn't feel like an actual movie, and it's more like watching an extended cut of 4 to 5 episodes in one go inside a cinema. What I'm trying to say is that for movies like the Digimon movie or Your Name, the feelings you get from watching it in the cinema as a standalone movie compared to watching it from home as like separate episodes just wouldn't really bring the same feeling or impact. Like for the Demon Slayer movie, yes, I agree that the animation and flashy lights will definitely look good in a large screen, but if you watch it at home as individual episodes, the emotions of the story and the characters would still feel the same for it as if you're watching it inside a cinema, and that's honestly what I'm trying to explain. It just really didn't feel like a movie to me, because if we divide it into 4 to 5 episodes, it would still feel like solid individual episodes. And FYI, I did watch it in the cinema a couple months ago just in case anyone wants to say that, oh, but you didn't go to the cinema to watch the movie, so I wouldn't know if it really has the same cinematic experience as other anime movies. So yeah, I stand by what I said about the movie not feeling like an actual movie. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. And like I said, the thing about the movie feeling more like I'm watching a collection of episodes together is just a minor nitpick, and the overall movie is still super amazing. As for the character breakdowns, I won't go into it because I mean everyone is still the same people from the first season. Nothing unexpected happened with their character development, and most of the characters are still sticking with their personalities. The only standout character I would like to mention is definitely Rengoku's introduction and the entrance to the movie. And just like the manga, he's still one of my favorite characters despite the short amount of time we got with him. I guess that's a job well done from the author and UFOTABLE, being able to make us feel attached to a character like Rengoku in such a short period of time, through quite easy to understand flashbacks and a good explanation of his motives as a character. Now, the music is kind of like a rehash of the previous Demon Slayer anime, but with some tweaks here and there, and don't get me wrong, the music is still amazing. Of course, there's also the beautiful ending Homura by Lisa that really hits straight into the heart. Yeah, so all in all, UFOTABLE definitely brought their A game and raised the bar really high for animation quality in general, and since it's out now online, you guys should go check it out if you haven't already. So yeah, I personally enjoyed watching the movie in the cinema and rewatching it online, and despite some problems the story has, it mostly stems from the manga itself, so I can't really blame it on the anime or the movie. They are just doing the best they can with the source material they have without having to change the story too much. And for me, a story doesn't always need to be a 10 out of 10, and that's what Demon Slayer is. A typical shounen that has its flaws, but is still able to deliver a deeper view on human nature. So what do you think of the Demon Slayer movie? Do you agree or disagree with me? Have you watched it yet? Or maybe what are your own personal thoughts on the story overall? I would love to discuss it with you guys in the comment section down below. As always, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like and feel free to subscribe to the channel for more anime contents in the future. Be sure to check out my review on the previous Demon Slayer anime or my recent review on the Quintessential Quintuplets. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay safe everyone.